Hey, what's going on, guys? Xbox All On channel host Sega Forever. Sorry about the short notice. Um, I actually got up early this morning to watch the inauguration festivities. It's something that I enjoy doing, especially since it's President Trump's inauguration. And this is regardless of what side of the aisle you fall on. I also watched Obama's inauguration ceremony because I knew it was going to be big, somewhat of a spectacle, and you know he had a majority of the country vote for him at that time. And so, you know, regardless of whose party wins the White House, I think it's important for every American to pay attention to this kind of stuff. Now, again, it works a little bit more in my favor. I voted for Trump. I voted for him in 2016, 2020, and now in 2024. And I think it is probably one of the most important elections of our lifetime. My personal opinion. I know some of you guys won't agree with me, but I got up early, man. I absolutely enjoy all the pomp and all the circumstances. I was watching stuff from last night. Not watching too much things, man. I had to get some stuff done yesterday, but I tried to keep up with it as much as possible. And this is why I'm a strong proponent of social media, because social media allows you to watch things in real time, but it also allows you to take bite-sized pieces of everything, especially when you're busy or you're trying to watch or catch up with other news, which I do videos on. And this is not just relegated to politics. I mean, across the board. You guys know how I'm changing my channel in 2025. Hope you guys like the format change. But yeah, it allows me to keep up with everything, right? Um, in bite-sized pieces, and also in full-length documentaries. Dude, I watch a lot of different things, and I think it's important that we do. But like I said, I got up early this morning, started watching the festivities, saw the. Um, I actually watched the inauguration speech, and that's why I'm doing this video kind of last minute because I do want to get my thoughts on it. I thought it was pretty epic. Um, excuse me, guys. The speech that he gave was pretty epic. I want to give you guys my thoughts, and so we're going to react to it now on this channel. And again, I'll be watching the video. So if you comment, this is how I kind of do my videos. I do it live stream because I got StreamYard. But if you comment and I'm not answering, it's probably because I'm on YouTube watching this in real time. Okay. But I have a lot of thoughts too, so I'll be stopping the videos. He went hard, man. That's what I'm going to say. He went hard, and I was actually kind of surprised a little bit. I'm not going to lie. He left no rock unturned. I mean, he could have been even more hardcore. I think he was a little bit magnanimous with some stuff that he could have said, but I think it was fitting as well. It was fitting as well, given the occasion, given the amount of people that was there. But we'll get into that when I do my reaction. It was pretty epic, dude. But let me hook some stuff up. I do want to give I had this video on tap, but then I kind of messed up. Let's see if I can find it again before I get started, and give some time for anybody if they want to jump in to give them a chance to join in the in my stream. Shucks. It's interesting because I had a video up here that kind of did a quick breakdown. I wanted to do that. A lot of people stream this, dude. I'd love to see the numbers on how many places carried the speech and people's reactions to the speech, as well as the amount of people that watched, because it was all over the place. I messed up. I should have. There's a channel that I normally follow, CBN News, and actually saved their video because I'm going to watch it a little bit later. It's more from a Christian perspective. If you watch something like the inauguration, it depends on what channel you watch it on, that you're going to get a lot of different takes, right? For example, if you're watching an overseas channel, right, of course, their perspective is going to be skewed from their point of view, from their country, what their citizenry is concerned about, and more importantly, how it's going to affect them directly, right? I actually watched it on Newsmax. It's one of the first ones that pop up. I actually like Newsmax. I recognize some of the people that was doing the inauguration address, so that's why I went with that. I woke up kind of late, so I was kind of rushing around to get that done. But there's normally other people that I watch, but Newsmax did a great job. Because in order to, when you're watching it, right, I like to watch all the other stuff. It's basically like how you get a movie that you really love, and then I tend to get the movies with the behind the scenes stuff, right? Because I want to really get into it, especially if it's a movie I like. Get the director's thoughts, what was the studio thinking, special effects, the writer's story, all that kind of stuff. In fact, the other day I did a video Again, I'm a pro Xbox channel, but the other day I did a video and I was highlighting somebody that used to work at Microsoft that's still in the industry. She doesn't work at Microsoft anymore, but she got like all the inside scoop on a lot of stuff. And I'm going to be doing a video on her channel specifically because I think it's really good. If you guys are interested in gaming in the way that I am, I know a lot of you guys who follow us, we're just not gamers, dude. We're engulfed in the culture of gaming. But I'll put her on blast because she got some viewership now, but she could definitely get a lot more. And I like those type of channels because they kind of cut to the chase, right? Regardless if I agree with her or not on some of the stuff, she just gets right to the middle, which is what I appreciate. A lot of the stuff in the gaming community, right? It's all over the place. A lot of opinions, not a lot of fact. And I do that on my channel as well, but I try and let you guys know ahead of time. But anyway, I can't seem to find this dude. I'm rambling on. Crap, I gotta get better at saving this stuff. I'm not gonna lie. All right, man. Let's roll with this, dude. And again, I'll be stopping the video, so this might take a little longer. The speech itself, I think, was like half an hour. It was pretty long for a speech. I mean, if you know President Trump, dude, he can talk. Dude, I mean, when you have like somebody like last 4 years of Biden when he was low energy, man, Trump does not have that problem. In fact, a lot of people say he talks a little bit too much. Like I was at the gym listening to the full broadcast, and there's events upon events, and everybody's giving their thoughts. And I'm not talking about the people in his cabinet, the people that are going to be involved in the administration, like Elon Musk, of course, all these guys. And so it's a lot to take in. But he was doing a speech after the inauguration that was super long, dude. So we're not gonna do that one, man. That's a little bit too long. I like what they were saying though. If you guys was watching the hearings from last week, been keeping up with ever since the November 5th, keeping up with the election results and what he's been doing. Right, you guys get a good idea of what his administration is going to be like, and this speech totally sets it up perfectly. Right, so. Let's see if I can share this real quick, guys. So sharing. I hope I can do this, man, guys. Just to let you know, I've been having problems with my internet for some reason. Probably because a lot of people are off and at home using the internet, which I think is pretty sad, man. I wouldn't mind getting Starlink, dude. I'm not gonna lie, Starlink would be pretty awesome. Let me blow this up for you guys. Let me blow it up over here. I think you guys can see it, right? Yeah, that's better. That's better. All right, dude. We're gonna kick it off, man, and hold on to your horses, man. But it's pretty. He hits the ground running.
It's my honor and pleasure to introduce to you the 45th and the 47th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
I hope you guys can hear that. I'm trying to adjust the volume because I am going to do some talking as well. There he is, the man. 47th. I wish I would have done this live.
Much, everybody.
I wish I would have done this live. It would have been epic.
Thank you very, very much. Vice President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune, Chief Justice Roberts, Justices of the United States Supreme Court, President Clinton.
Sorry, just really quickly, man. I know I'm going to be stopping quite a bit. If you look at the background, man, there's a lot of people. You see President Bill Clinton there, former president, Hillary Clinton as well, who ran for office, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, a lot of the Democrat people. A lot of the news. See, this is why I don't like the news, guys. They were saying a lot of these people aren't going to show up, but they did, which I think is good, right? It's good decorum. I would expect the same thing from President Trump when he steps down and somebody else takes over, even if it's in another party. Right? I think it's important. But also, President Obama was there. Michelle Obama was not there. I don't know what's going on with that, dude. A lot of people have been talking about it. I don't care. Honestly, the main thing is that he showed up, and even the Bushes showed up. Both George Bush Jr. as well as his wife Laura Bush. So again, be wary of the news and all the stories that's going on over there. You see Vivek Ramaswamy on the left; he's there. A lot of people saying he's getting kicked out of the movement. I don't think so. He's going to be running for the governor of Ohio. Good luck to him. He made some pretty inflammatory remarks. I didn't have a problem with it. I just thought he was just being brutally honest, talking about the work ethic of Americans. I think he's a little bit too general with that, but it is what it is. But that Vivek has done a lot for MAGA. I mean, he's one of the first people that jumped on board the train and he was full speed ahead. And President Trump is one of these guys, and he'll never forget that. I think it's important though what he's doing. He's going to run for governor of Ohio, man. If he has no Ohio, and I'm talking from a political stance, guys. I'm not from Ohio. I'm not talking on the people there. You know, their politics is their politics. I'm talking a more general, on a nationalistic bent. But they definitely could use somebody like him, right? Especially if you have President Trump in office. And as you watch this speech, man, a lot of the stuff that people talked about or were worried about, as they always are when it comes to President Trump, he squashes it in the speech. And again, we'll talk about it in detail.
President Bush, President Obama, President Biden, Vice President Harris, and my fellow citizens. The golden age of America begins right now.
See, hear that? Straight off the bat, dude. When he says this, I know he's going all in.
From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
On message, on point. I was talking about it.
Our sovereignty will be reclaimed. Our safety will be restored. The scales of justice will be rebalanced. The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end.
That's fired already. Not even like a minute in, he's already going deep.
And our top priority will be to create a nation that is proud, prosperous, and free.
We'll see.
America will soon be greater, stronger, and far more exceptional than ever before. I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success. A tide of change is sweeping the country. Sunlight is pouring over the entire world. And America has the chance to seize this opportunity like never before. But first, we must be honest about the challenges we face. While they are plentiful, they will be annihilated by this great momentum that the world is now witnessing in the United States of America. As we gather today, our government confronts a crisis of trust. For many years, a radical and corrupt establishment has extracted power and wealth from our citizens.
Did you know he's on point and he's serious? If you just look at his face and his mannerisms, like he's ultra focused. Dude, he means every single word of that.
While the pillars of our society lay broken and seemingly in complete disrepair, we now have a government that cannot manage even a simple crisis at home, while at the same time stumbling into a continuing catalog of catastrophic events abroad. It fails to protect our magnificent, law-abiding American citizens, but provides sanctuary and protection for dangerous criminals, many from prisons and mental institutions that have illegally entered our country from all over the world. We have a government that has given unlimited funding to the defense of foreign borders, but refuses to defend American borders or, more importantly, its own people. Our country can no longer deliver basic services in times of emergency, as recently shown by the wonderful people of North Carolina, been treated
Nice.
so badly.
Dude, see, he's going all in. He's just going right down the checklist. Boom, 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 boom. Love that he mentioned North Carolina. A lot of people are still putting stuff out there on social media, but the actual mainstream media doesn't even cover it anymore. If it was something that hurt President Trump, they probably would. But it paints a bad picture for the current administration who's going out. Um, and so I think it's great that he's acknowledging that because I see it online as well. Because the people that I follow, the way that I have my timeline set up, there's a lot of people still trying to draw attention to it. And yet the fires in LA, everything seemed to shift to that, which is important as well, man. Look, they're Americans as well. Um, that's one thing I like about his message. He's going to be doing this for all Americans because you're a citizen, right? He's just not the president of one party or the other party. He's the president of the entire country. And I'm not saying that he can't change some stuff, man. He's going to have to, dude. But I think it's really important that he mentioned North Carolina because a lot of people, it's not even on the radar, right? But like you're saying, dude, it's funny because Biden and President Biden and Vice President Harris, I'm trying to be professional, guys. They're sitting right there next to him, man. He's just going on deep, going in deep on these dudes, man. Because it's under their administration, all this stuff was happening, and he's saying it's over. Party's over. The adults are back in control. The kids were having a party. Mom and dad pulled up. The car lights hit the front window, and the party's over. So I'm glad he did that.
And other states who are still suffering from a hurricane that took place many months ago, or more recently, Los Angeles, where we're watching fires still tragically burn. From weeks ago, without even a token of defense, they're raging through the houses and communities, even affecting some of the wealthiest and most powerful individuals in our country, some of whom are sitting here right now. They don't have a home any longer.
He's talking about the people back here, man. A lot of them own houses, of course, in LA, man. The place that got hit by the fire. A lot of the rich and influential moguls, business titans, entertainers. If you guys go online, man, you guys will see it, dude. But you know, and I don't think it's a shot at them. I mean, he actually, being magnanimous about it. But when I heard him say that, I was like, yeah, dude. Look, dude, man, poverty don't care. Natural disasters don't care, man. A lot of the issues we're dealing with in the country right now, dude, it doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, your color, your creed, your religion, whatever it is, man. It'll take out anybody, right? And so, a lot of those people, man. And look, they're well off and stuff like that, but still, man, it's like what happened, well, what wasn't done, what was done that was wrong, all that stuff they gotta look at.
That's interesting. But we can't let this happen. Everyone is unable to do anything about it. That's going to change. We have a public health system that does not deliver in times of disaster, yet more money is spent on it than any country anywhere in the world.
Facts.
And we have an education system that teaches our children to be ashamed of themselves in many cases,
Welcome to the podcast.
to hate our country despite the love that we try so desperately to provide to them. All of this will change starting today, and it will change very quickly.
Let's go. Day one.
My recent election is a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal and all of these many betrayals that have taken place, and to give the people back their faith, their wealth, their democracy, and indeed their freedom. From this moment on, America's decline is over.
That's why everybody voted for him. Right? We should be in a better place.
Our liberties and our nation's glorious destiny will no longer be denied, and we will immediately restore the integrity, competency, and loyalty of America's government. Over the past 8 years, I have been tested and challenged more than any president in our 250-year history, and I've learned a lot along the way. The journey to reclaim our republic has not been an easy one, that I can tell you. Those who wish to stop our cause have tried to take my freedom and indeed to take my life. Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again.
Ooh, there you go. That's what it's all about right there. I see a lot of people talking about this online, dude. Look, let me let you guys in on a little secret, dude. God can use anybody that He wants, that He deems He wants to use, right? Anybody. There's some people online talking about this, saying that, you know, because of his lifestyle, all this kind of stuff, it doesn't matter. God uses whoever He wants to use, right? And in some aspects, man, if you look at the way that our country is, man, we turned our back on God, right? So in some aspects, a lot of the stuff that happens to us, we brought upon ourselves. And so this was a powerful moment that I thought in the speech. Also, even before that, when he started talking about all the stuff that was happening to him, and the people that perpetrating this, they're watching this, right? And then some of them are in that audience. So this is one of the things I like about Trump. I mean, he can be a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people. For me, I prefer people like this that are just brutally honest, that speak their mind, because I like to know where I stand with people. And then sometimes you need that perspective, man. You need that hard truth, right? To check your own self. And that's why I like people who are like this. But yeah, dude, if anybody knows about all the stuff that's happening, it's definitely him. Yeah, well said.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. That is why each day under our administration of American patriots,
Yeah, sorry. And one more thing, man. I mean, it has humbled him. He was a different person after the incident, as anybody would be. Definitely, a lot of people were moved by what he did after the assassination attempt. And if you guys don't know, dude, if he had just turned slightly, if he hadn't turned his head the way that he did slightly, because you hear a lot of people talking about his ear, that he just got shot in the ear, dude. I was like, that bullet was on track to literally just, blow out his brains. And what had happened was he turned kind of at the last minute, and that's why it clicked his ear, and it didn't kill him, right? Which I think that's an act of divine providence. I think that's an act of God to get us to this moment where we are now. And but nothing he's saying here is not true. 100%, absolutely, right? And we need to get the guys, especially the government, needs to get back to good. Man. We need to restore the faith and trust in these institutions. Um, but yeah, it changed him, man. It changed him dramatically. Dude. He's a little bit more, anytime your life is threatened like that and you come back close, man, it gives you perspective and it humbled him, right? For a while too. I mean, he is who he is. He has a strong personality that's never going to change. But the weeks that followed, and I think it opened up his mind. Sometimes you go through trials and tribulations, right? God's trying to tell you something, and he acknowledges it. And I pray for him. I pray that he is continuing this journey. Hopefully, he will become a full-fledged Christian, accept Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior. That's the ultimate goal, and that's what I pray for his life. So that'll be the next step for him. All of this stuff that's going on right now, he's in a moment in time. I think he's the right person for this period of time, especially for the country. But it goes beyond that, man. We're talking about eternity here, so yeah. I'm glad that he's beginning to recognize that because it's important.
we will be working to meet every crisis with dignity and power and strength. We will move with purpose and speed to bring back hope, prosperity, safety, and peace for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day.
Boom. Yes, it is.
It is my hope that our recent presidential election will be remembered as the greatest and most consequential election in the history of our country. As our victory showed, the entire nation is rapidly unifying behind our agenda with dramatic increases in support from virtually every element of our society, young and old, men and women, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, urban, suburban, rural. And very importantly, we had a powerful win in all 7 swing states. And the popular vote, we won by millions of people.
Yeah, it was pretty epic. It was a pretty epic win.
To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices.
Yeah, Hispanic community came in large for him, and then he increased his vote in the with the black vote, and then a lot of other people too, man. I know a lot of people here locally voted for him as well, and it's more a vote on principle, right? Because I live in a blue state, but if you look around the states, when you break it down, dude, a lot of counties turned red for him this year.
In the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor, we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true.
Yeah, I think that was important. Today is the day that the federal government recognizes Martin Luther King Jr. Today is the day that the federal government recognizes him. His birthday was actually last week, and that's why a lot of federal buildings are not no longer open. So, or not open today, but they'll be resuming tomorrow.
National unity is now returning to America, and confidence and pride is soaring like never before. In everything we do, my administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence and unrelenting success. We will not forget our country. We will not forget our Constitution. And we will not forget our God. Can't do that.
Amen.
Today, I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense. First,
They say it's going to be about 200 day one. He even talked about it, kind of joked about it last night during the inauguration balls and stuff like that. He was talking about how some people are saying, hey, maybe we can slow it down, Mr. President. And he goes, no, we're going full speed ahead day one. Which he needs to do, man. He has 4 years, man, to get this agenda done. He's got to do a lot. And time is going to be very critical.
I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
That was the number one issue, immigration. Illegal immigration. I say immigration because the system is broken and needs to be reworked. Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, JD Vance, a lot of these guys understand that. They're talking about it. When you listen to the media, a lot of it is done in a bad light. But if you're able to do some research, I suggest you do so, right? Because it's not just about keeping people out; it's about processing people faster as well, and the people that you want to come to the country, people that can contribute. We already have a pathway for people who are political prisoners or people that are suffering in the country that they're looking for asylum seekers. Totally different from everything that's going on. You know, in the administration that's leaving, they just put a blanket on everything, and that's how a lot of these people just started coming in. Right? They just threw everything up against the wall and didn't protect the borders, and it was the number one issue, and it far exceeded anything else. It was the number one issue, just etching out the economy, and they kind of go hand in hand actually, the economy and immigration issue, because a lot of the services and stuff like that that were used to take care of the illegals that were coming in, and they affected your bottom line, right? Because you pay taxes. That's what he was referencing earlier. So, yeah, he's definitely going to take care of that. That's. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the first thing he signs, the first executive order he passes.
All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy.
Boom.
I will end the practice of catch and release. And I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country.
Just really quickly, guys, when he talks about the troops, man, a lot of people are like, it's for the people trying to come across. It is, but it's also to protect them as well. Again, do some research, man. There's a lot of shady stuff going on at the border. A lot of the stuff with the cartels. A lot of stuff with human trafficking, mostly of women and children, but mostly children, man. It's bad. I've had to take training on this, dude, and we used to do it regularly where I work, and then for some reason it stopped. They stopped covering it, and when they did that, I kind of had an idea that it's actually way worse um, than what the media covers at all. I mean, and the media doesn't cover it at all. In fact, they weaponize it against Trump, right? It's just like he's going to send troops down there, just start shooting and killing people, and then crossing the border and invading Mexico. If you look at, that's why you guys don't listen to the mainstream media. You guys gotta look at it yourself. Like even me, man, don't take what I say. Take it with a grain of salt as well, but do the research. Because even though you do the research, you might not still agree with me, and that's fine, right? But it's a big issue, and it needs to be addressed. That's why he's doing it. It's not. It's not. We're not invading anybody.
Under the orders I signed today, we will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was just talking about.
And by invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, I will direct our government to use the full and immense power of federal and state law enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks, bringing devastating crime to U.S. soil, including our cities and inner cities.
He went all the way back to 1798. He ain't messing around.
As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Next, I will direct all members of my cabinet to marshal the vast powers at their disposal to defeat what was record inflation and rapidly bring down costs and prices.
Okay, so here we go. This is the second biggest issue, right up there with illegal immigration. He's gonna start talking about he starts focusing on the economy.
The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices, and that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
There you go. You knew it was coming. You knew he was going to use that slogan, and he means it too. They're going to open it all up, everything, like it was back in 2016. That's how we were able to turn the economy around.
America will be a manufacturing nation once again, and we have something that no other manufacturing nation will ever have, the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we are going to use it. Let me use it.
That's another big thing. Bring back manufacturing. We should have done this years ago. We've totally gutted our manufacturing sector. We rely too much on other foreign entities, and that's what's giving them leverage over us in some cases. So when he came in 2016, that's the first thing he started to do. That's why so many of the unions and that blue wall they talked about crumbled, and so many of the not the unions themselves, but the most important part of the union, right, is the actual union members and the workers supporting because it affects their bottom line, and it's national security as well, guys. You can't be relying on these other countries. We've overpowered China way too much. And with the way things cost now, because one of the concerns, of course, that everybody would use when you talked about bringing manufacturing here is things would be more expensive. Well, look where we are now, so it doesn't really matter, right? We need to start producing our own stuff again, and we need to get back to getting resources like we used to. That's why Doge is so important. That's why you got somebody like Elon Musk over there, guys that can think outside the box. This is why you talk about Greenland as well. Um, I mean, it's important, man. We need to get back to that.
We will bring prices down, fill our strategic reserves up again, right to the top, and export American energy all over the world.
Yeah, just really quickly. Sorry, guys. I just need to get this out there, but that's important as well. He wants to monetize a lot of stuff that we have, our resources and some of the services we provide, like protection, right? We have a large debt. Tomorrow, the debt ceiling's going to hit. We're going to hit the debt ceiling tomorrow. And if you guys don't know, it's really bad, right? Just think about a credit card that's totally maxed out, and you're trying to pay it down, but you end up paying mostly the interest. There's a, we're in dire straits right now, and if we don't fix it now, we're in deep kimchi. So, everything that he's doing when he talks about this kind of stuff, dude, don't listen to the media. It's not warmongering. He's trying to figure out ways, as a businessman will, to monetize. Make something good out of something bad. The situation is, and trying to monetize, right? And if we become an exporter of energy, we can use that, right? And he wants to grow the economy, right? Because in growing the economy, right, and providing the services, that's how we're going to get our debt down, or one of the ways.
We will be a rich nation again, and it is that liquid gold under our feet that will help to do it. With my actions today, we will end the Green New Deal and we will revoke the electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto industry and keeping my sacred pledge to our great American auto workers.
Yeah, stand up and applaud. That is huge, right? You have somebody like Elon Musk who has Tesla. Now, some people have speculated that he's doing it because he'll benefit from it, which he probably will. But that's not the point, man. If you guys didn't realize with this Green New Deal thing, that was all politics. And a lot of these dudes in this office, this is why people hate the government so much. I can't stand these people that are not the people. I'm talking about the politicians, right? With all the backdoor dealing and stuff like that, they're making a lot of money off this stuff, dude. Right? I have no problem with going green, but it has to go through the process. It has to be organic, man. It has to be tested and proven, because it's not a one-size-fits-all solution, right? But because a lot of these people are tied in with the corporations, they sign off on a lot of things that these guys are doing. That's why they come up with the New Deal, and they have it under the guise of it's for the betterment of all mankind. But it's not for the betterment of all mankind. This is why your electricity is high. There's all these mandates and regulations because they're trying to force you into something that either you can't afford or that's costing you a lot of money, right? And this is why you hear these guys opine and go on these massive rants about how we're killing the earth and global warming and all that crap, right? And so that's pigeonholed us, man. And then the people that benefited the most from that was China, right? Because they have all the industry over there. They're mass producing a lot of stuff. They're the ones with the rare earth minerals to build these batteries. You guys are gonna have to start doing a deep dive on this kind of stuff for the U.S. and what he plans to do, man. We need to get back to what makes us great, right? And manufacturing is definitely one of them. Right, a lot of the stuff that people do in the rest of the world, that was all founded here in this country. So I'm glad he's killing that thing. That thing was a waste of time. Paris Accord thing was ridiculous. I hope he also pulls out of the UN. We don't need to be held back. If the rest of the world wants to do what they want to do, that's fine. Right? But over here, we do things differently. We need to get back to that. So I actually love this part because we need to get the economy going, guys. We need to get jobs for people, right? And we need to pay them fairly. and getting an auto industry, because not everybody wants an electric vehicle, dude. I'll never buy an electric vehicle. Right? I think they're weird. I mean, I don't like the way they look. Number one, even some of the stuff they're coming up now, they're trying to fashion it, but dude, I just want to gas and go. I don't have to be charging my stuff like my phone. It's ridiculous.
In other words, you'll be able to buy the car of your choice.
There you go.
We will build
That's what it all boils down to, man. Don't take the choice away from me. You can have it out there. There's people that like it, right? My son thinks Teslas are cool. I'm fine with that. He can do whatever he wants to. When he gets older, wants to buy his car, he can do that, right? But don't take that choice away from me.
automobiles in America again at a rate that nobody could have dreamt possible just a few years ago. And thank you to the auto workers of our nation for your inspiring vote of confidence.
Yeah.
We did tremendously with their vote.
Bring it back.
I
Run
will
it back, run it
immediately
back.
begin the overhaul of our trade system to protect American workers and families.
There we go.
Instead of taxing our citizens to enrich other countries, we will tariff and tax foreign countries to enrich our citizens.
100%. This is why I like what he does with tariffs. Again, the only concern I have with tariffs is the next person that comes in, because it's very unique. He knows how to do it. Right? It's very unique. Something that's very unique to him. Okay.
For this purpose, we are establishing the External Revenue Service to collect all tariffs, duties, and revenues. It will be massive amounts of money pouring into our treasury, coming from foreign sources. The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before to restore competence and effectiveness to our federal government. My administration will establish the brand new Department of Government Efficiency.
Here we go. Two things I definitely wanted to hear: external tax revenue, external tax revenue service, which is basically an anti-IRS. IRS, man, they just need to go. Right, take away the income tax. Let's move on. Let's be fluid. And then with Doge coming in, man, because a lot of these organizations need to just go away. To be just 100% honest with you guys.
After years and years of illegal and unconstitutional federal efforts to restrict free expression, I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America.
Yeah, another 100% behind that. Right, we need people to be able to say what they want to say, even if we don't agree with them. 100%. And that's one of the things about my channel, guys, where I kind of separate myself from other people. I fall in line with ideologically. You can say what you want to say. I might not agree with it, but I can always walk away, or I can tell you my point of view. What I don't like is when you ask me something, or when I'm getting challenged on something, that when I try and respond, then you try and shut me up or try and cancel me. And that's what was happening with all this DEI stuff. Right? And we need to get back to normal, man. That's how this country was built. It's one of the principles that it was founded on: freedom of speech. Right? It is important, man. If you can't have dialogue with people, right? And that's where the rule of law and the Second Amendment comes into, which you got to be able to protect yourself, and there needs to be a fair justice system, right? That's all works hand in hand. But first and foremost is free speech, man, and we have to be able to, look, dude, we need thicker skin, man. If somebody says something to you you don't like, people say off stuff to me all the time, right? And so we just got to be able to deal with that, because if you lose that, dude, it's over. Just being 100 with you. But that's one of my biggest complaints, right? With people, is like, I don't care what you say, dude, but just don't try and suppress what I want to say, and definitely don't try to take away my choices. Like, you do what you want to do, right? And I have my say on it. And a lot of times, dude, I don't bother people about that. But if you come at me and then I get to say what I want to say, I'll let you know, dude. I'll give you both barrels, right? But then you try and cancel me, dude. That's why I can't stand all this stuff, this DEI crap too. None of that. It's important.
Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents. Something I know something about. We will not allow that to happen. It will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law.
As it should be, yep. And if anybody can speak on it, it's definitely him. And this is why, dude. Sometimes God allows you to go through trials and tribulations, right? So that you can get a better understanding, dude. And they tried to lawfare this guy to death. They tried to do a lot of stuff to knock him out of the race. And for the whole time, for the last 4 years, these guys said he wasn't a threat. He was ridiculous. He's a clown. He's a goofball. He's a megalomaniac. He's psychotic. All this stuff, dude. But if they really felt that way, man, if you know a person's that way, you wouldn't consider them a threat, right? But by their actions, you could tell that they were worried about him, and for good reason. Look where he's standing right now. He's the president. But again, sometimes you got to go through this kind of stuff that he went through to understand like how bad things are, dude. And the weaponization of the law and the weaponization of the federal government is beyond the pale, man. That's why a lot of people don't trust the federal government anymore. They don't care. Like somebody like me, I look at that, I was like, dude, you could fire everybody tomorrow, or today, or this afternoon when you start writing executive orders, and you could fire everybody, and I wouldn't even care. And I don't even care what kind of situation that would put me in. That's how bad it is. Again, man, once people lose trust in institutions like this, dude, that's a big problem. And I say, and me personally, I always felt this way that it was the government is too big anyway. They should downsize it because it does too much and it's too much involved in people's lives. So that was a tough lesson he had to learn, but he learned it well, and he knows how it feels like, and you know that's why he's going to move forward full speed ahead to take all of this stuff out of the government.
And we are going to bring law and order back to our cities.
100%.
This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life.
Boom, boom, 100%. Here we go. This is DEI.
We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
As it should be.
As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Again, this is huge, guys. I mean, I see it all the time, right? The federal government serves a purpose. And like I said earlier, they've overstepped their bounds, right? They need to be held accountable. They need to be scrutinized to the fullest degree. There's a lot of these people that are involved in government service that are anti-government in a bad way. I talked about this the other day in the video. A lot of these guys that occupy these spaces and offices only do so for the detriment of the country as a whole. They don't believe in the Constitution. A lot of them don't like the history of the country, which there is bad stuff that happened in the country, but they never acknowledge the good stuff. And I think that's hypocritical because they benefit from it. As they sit here making the money that they make in these offices that are palatial, right? Air conditioning, free food, all the benefits that they get, and they still have the gall to sit there and berate the things that make them that provide a living for them, right? And I can't stand that, dude. To me, that's the height of hypocrisy, and that's a lot of these people that are in Washington D.C. Man, there's a reason 90% of D.C. voted for the Democratic Party, right? Because they don't want any of this stuff to change. That's why it was important for him to win. He needed to win so that we can start instigating these changes, man, and start holding people accountable. And one of the worst things that they did was they weaponized race and diversity, and they weaponized it so that they could push their agenda. That's all it boils down to. Because if you have a different opinion of stuff, they weaponize it and try to take you out. And I saw it firsthand, dude. And that's not the purpose of the federal government. That's the last thing the federal government needs to do. Federal government needs to focus on what the federal government does best, and that's not a lot. They don't do a lot. They don't do a lot that's really well. They don't do a lot of things that's good. They don't do a lot of things very well. So what you need to do, right? And then you add in all this other crap on top of this, which not even supposed to be there. And this is why we're in the state we're in this country. Right? And this is why we have the leadership that we have. That's why all these people are absolutely hopeless. They all need to go. Most of this stuff needs to get taken out, right? And it's important for him to say that, right? Because when you're focusing on things that you shouldn't be focused on, it's like any other job, dude. Like where I work, dude, sometimes there's drama going on and it just blows my mind because I'm like, dude, we're so busy, right? Hiring freezes, we don't got enough people, positions have been getting rid of, right? And then a lot of responsibility falls on other people. So we should be doing our work. And I don't see, like, for me, it's kind of like, when do you have the time to worry about this kind of stuff, dude? You need to focus, right? And again, this is why I like Doge. This is what I like they're going to do, right? They're going to go with a fine tooth comb. I mean, personally, I think there's going to be benefits from it, not just negatives. Right? But one of the things that they needed to address was their social engineering, because that's what they're doing. Again, you have people that believe in this kind of stuff. They're letting their ideology overrun their actual work ethic and what they're supposed to be doing in the workplace. That's more important to them. It's like if I'm in my job all the time and all I'm doing is thinking about video games or watching videos on my computer about video games and stuff like that, I'm not doing my job. And that's how encompassing all of this stuff is, and that's why it needs to go. I'm so happy you addressed this because it is a problem. I say it all the time.
This week, I will reinstate any service members who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with
Nice.
full back pay.
There you go. There you go. And they talked about this. A lot of people thought he wasn't going to be serious. I knew he would. This is why you got Pete Hegseth was going to be the Secretary of Defense, man. They gotta approve that dude, and we can move full speed ahead. Bring these people back in. This is how we build up our fighting force because we lost a lot of people, and people that I consider that we want to fight for the country. Right? We need to build that back up, and that's one way you do it. And it's just the right thing to do, right? A lot of people lost careers off of this stuff. Some people put in the time, right? And they love their job and they were good at what they're doing. And the military took a hit from that. Again, I see that all the time. So get these people back in. If they want to come back, they might not be able. They might not want to come back. Maybe they like being in a public service or living their own lives. Military service is just that. It's a service. It's just like these clowns all in here, right? And when I say clowns, I don't like politicians, right? They're civil servants, right? They serve at the behest of the country, right? And the populace. That's the same thing with the military, right? That's what they're supposed to be doing. So good for them, man. They need to be reinstated. A lot of high-ranking people lost. There was a video that was being shared online where um, there was, I think he's a major a major for the Air Force, and he was on Space Force and he got let go, right? Because he was against DEI. And then Trump told him right then and there, "Is like, I'm going to rehire you." And then just the other day, the story came out that he got his position. He's going to have a position with the administration, which is good. Sorry, guys, got a truck coming up.
And I will sign an order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It's going to end immediately.
100%. Need to do that as well.
Our armed forces will be freed to focus on their sole mission, defeating America's enemies.
100%. Yeah. So he's turning. He's looking at Pete Hegseth. If you haven't had a chance, look at Pete Hegseth's hearing last week. He lays it all out. The direction the military is going to go in. As him as Secretary of Defense and President Trump as Commander in Chief. They ain't going to be messing around.
Like
You're not
in
gonna have another
2017, we will again build the strongest military the world has ever seen. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office, the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families. Thank you. America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should be and where it belongs.
Man, if there's one thing I hated about Biden's administration, right, for all of you guys out there that think he actually ran the country, this is the BS that they were doing. Stuff like that, changing Mount McKinley, right, which they didn't have to do. That was absolutely stupid that they did stuff like that, right? And then with the statues, all of that crap, dude. If you like something or not, it doesn't matter. It's part of the American history, right? And that's one of the things I absolutely love that he's going to do. The Gulf of Mexico thing, dude. That's changing it to Gulf of America. Like Mexico probably won't recognize it, but who cares? I don't care. I actually like that he's doing that, man, because he's laying down the standard, man. He's laying down for a lot of what he's going to do, man, for his agenda.
President McKinley made our country very rich through tariffs and through talent. He was a natural businessman and gave Teddy Roosevelt the money for many of the great things he did, including the Panama Canal, which has foolishly been given to
Oh my gosh,
difficulty
here
in
we go. He's
Panama
going
after
in.
the United States. The United States, I mean, think of this, spent more money than ever spent on a project before and lost 38,000 lives in the building of the Panama Canal. We have been treated very badly from this foolish gift that should have never been made. And Panama's promise to us has been broken. The purpose of our deal and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships are being severely overcharged and not treated fairly in any way, shape, or form. And that includes the United States Navy. And above all, China is operating the Panama Canal. And we didn't give it to China, we gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
Oh my gosh, guys, I apologize. My mic was muted and I was talking. Um, but again, just to reiterate what he's saying with the Panama Canal. Um, he's very serious about this. I did a video being facetious, and what ended up happening is that yeah, Panama's canals, um, or Panama's been taking advantage of us. Right, we built a canal, we gave it back to them. That was under Jimmy Carter. This is what that became such a big issue as well because Jimmy Carter passed away. Right, and it was apropos to what's going on right now in in world events, especially President Trump coming on board to take over the Oval Office. And we had a treaty with them. They're supposed to treat us not just as a customer. They're supposed to give us, because we helped them build it. And that was one of the terms of the treaty. And they haven't been doing that. And that much I do know that they haven't been doing that. You guys know I track a lot of stuff with China, dude. So what he's saying is true. They haven't been treating us fairly. And also, China's got their hands on everything. And it's just not happening in Panama. China's doing this all over the world, right? China's, they're trying to diversify their portfolio, dude. Look, I can't fault them as well. They are a communist country. They're doing whatever they need to do to make the Communist Party, as big as it is. I mean, the people are suffering. That's sad, right? That's why it's good to have a strong leader like President Trump there. But yeah, they wield a lot of influences in this country, right? And they're allowed to. Again, do we have weak leadership? You know, soft men make hard times is basically what we've gone through the last 4 years. Right, but with Trump in office, dude, he doesn't mess around, dude, and they know that. When he won on November 5th, as soon as he won, November 6th, a lot of people start self-regulating, right? Start changing a lot of their rules and their regulations to accommodate him because they know they're gonna have to deal with him directly now. Last week, a lot of people self-deported. Right. Sorry if I'm repeating this, guys. I was talking and my mic was muted. I do apologize. Hey, what's up, brother? Yeah, everything presented was great. It was pretty awesome, and he went all in. So I do appreciate that about him. Sorry, I muted my mic, guys, because there was a truck going by, but I didn't unmute it. But you should have been able to hear the video, but you didn't hear my commentary. So we'll continue on. Again, my bad, guys. But yeah, he's gonna do it, guys. We're moving forward because we do have a treaty with them. We do have a treaty with them, dude, and they haven't been honoring the treaty. So that's the cause for us to do that. And again, like I was saying earlier, dude, this is beneficial economically for us, right? Because then we can be getting the money for that, as opposed to all these third world dictatorships.
Above all, my message to Americans today is that it is time for us to once again act with courage, vigor, and the vitality of history's greatest civilization. So as we liberate our nation, we will lead it to new heights of victory and success. We will not be deterred. Together, we will end the chronic disease epidemic and keep our children safe, healthy, and disease-free. The United States will once again consider itself a growing nation, one that increases our wealth, expands our territory, builds our cities, raises our expectations, and carries our flag into new and beautiful horizons. And we will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars.
I see a lot of people that when he says stuff like this, dude, there's like they really quickly pull out the nationalism card. Like there's a method to this madness, right? You need to let people know where you're coming from. That's one of the things I like about him the most, and it's important. We should put our country first, right? Just like other countries should put their country first, and then that's where you meet. When everybody has all the cards on the table, and that's how you can make these deals, and everybody can respect each other's territories. There'll probably be some conflict, right? But that's human history. That's the way it goes, right? But if you lay everything out there in front of people, they know how to adjust. And then a stronger America is a stronger economy, and it's a stronger, at least for the free world, right? This is why we call the leaders of the free world, right? Other countries will benefit in kind. So even in his 2016 presidency, his first 4 years, a lot of people just thought he was going to run roughshod. But the people that dealt fairly and honestly with them, he dealt fairly and honestly with them as well. And both countries benefited. This is why you have a lot of good relationship with countries like India and Japan, especially then, right? Those countries are going through some stuff right now, so I don't know how it's going to be moving forward. But regardless of what's happening in their country, the most important thing is we take care of our own country here at home, so that we can adjust accordingly, right? And it's interesting because he's bringing up uh, a lot of this stuff with our health, which is important, but he's also talking about space exploration, right? Which I'm a very big proponent of because I do believe in Western civilization and Western culture. And one of the big things about being Western civilization or Western culture is that works. I mean, if you're in the Western civilization, especially the early founders or the early pioneers, right? They were explorers. It's kind of part of who they are. It's ingrained in their DNA, right? So that's why I support the space program. I don't know about NASA now. NASA's got a lot of stuff that's going on. Hopefully, you can turn all that around. They're just as woke and messed up as every other government organization. So he has to change that. But that's why he has Elon Musk. Elon Musk will be a big proponent of that. Elon Musk is already doing stuff in the private sector. We might do that. We might contract this stuff out, right? But I think it's important. It's just not to go to Mars, just to go to Mars. I mean, who knows what you could find out? A lot of this stuff exploring. There's a lot of stuff going on in space right now because technology has gotten better with our satellites and the stuff that we're sending out in space. They did a lot of stuff that we were taught when we were younger. They're beginning to figure out that we were wrong. That's why it's constantly important to explore, man. If I want to do Star Trek, right, to boldly go where no man's gone before, right? And especially for Americans, dude, especially if you live in this country, or if you're of the West, dude, it's ingrained in you to do so, even if you're not one of the original, right? Like my culture, right? I mean, totally the opposite, right? We were navigators and explorers as well of the oceans, but this is next level going into space. But I think it's important for the human race to do that, because the more they explore, like a lot of stuff that's going on a on a spiritual note with Christianity, a lot of stuff is coming back to the Word of God and the Bible, right? For Christians out there, you know what's been going on. That's why a lot of people have been purchasing Bibles, because they do want to know what's going on. Because again, when you believe in something or you thought something was true, and all of a sudden it gets pulled out from under you, you're left with asking a lot of questions of what's going on, right? And that's why you need people like this. You need people like President Trump, and you need people like Elon Musk, right? You need those guys, those people that think outside the box, that want to push things forward, right? And then who knows what we're gonna know in the near future. But I'm all for it 100%. I think it's important. Yeah, there you go. He's happy. I want to be honest, man. I think he's gonna do it too. He's gonna be the dude that plants that flag on Mars.
Ambition is the lifeblood of a great nation. And
100%.
right now, our nation is more ambitious than any other. There's no nation like our nation.
True.
Americans are explorers, builders, innovators, entrepreneurs, and pioneers. The spirit of the frontier is written into our hearts. The call of the next great adventure resounds from within our souls. Our American ancestors turned a small group of colonies on the edge of a vast continent into a mighty republic of the most extraordinary citizens on earth. No one comes close. Americans pushed thousands of miles through a rugged land of untamed wilderness. They crossed deserts, scaled mountains, braved untold dangers, won the Wild West, ended slavery, rescued millions from tyranny, lifted billions from poverty, harnessed electricity, split the atom, launched mankind into the heavens, and put the universe of human knowledge into the palm of the human hand. If we work together, there is nothing we cannot do and no dream we cannot achieve. Many people thought it was impossible for me to stage such a historic political comeback. But as you see today, here I am. The American people have spoken.
Sorry about that, guys. In my neighborhood, for some reason, people's alarms always go off.
I stand before you now as proof that you should never believe that something is impossible to do. In America, the impossible is what we do best. From New York to Los Angeles, from Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Miami, from Houston to right here in Washington, D.C., our country was forged and built by the generations of patriots who gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. They were farmers and soldiers, cowboys and factory workers, steel workers and coal miners, police officers and pioneers who pushed onward, marched forward, and let no obstacle defeat their spirit or their pride. Together, they laid down the railroads, raised up the skyscrapers, built great highways, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and triumphed over every single challenge that they faced. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. With your help, we will restore America's promise, and we will rebuild the nation that we love, and we love it so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So to every parent who dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future, I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. They're going to win like never before.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In recent years, our nation has suffered greatly, but we are going to bring it back and make it great again, greater than ever before. We will be a nation like no other, full of compassion, courage, and exceptionalism. Our power will stop all wars and bring a new spirit of unity to a world that has been angry, violent, and totally unpredictable. America will be respected again and admired again, including by people of religion, faith, and goodwill. We will be prosperous. We will be proud. We will be strong, and we will win like never before. We will not be conquered. We will not be intimidated. We will not be broken, and we will not fail. From this day on, the United States of America will be a free, sovereign, and independent nation. We will stand bravely. We will live proudly. We will dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, man. That was pretty epic. Hey, what's up, Daniel? I'm back, guys. Sorry about the little snafu earlier. Hopefully that doesn't ruin your experience with the video. But again, man, absolutely loved the speech. Again, I watched it this morning. And all the other stuff that was going on. You know what blew me away was a lot of the prayers. I was gonna share for the video, but it's running a little bit long. Gonna wrap it up. I might do my thoughts or my reactions on the prayers. Man, the prayers were pretty awesome as well. Pretty strong. Hey, what's up, Pepe? Yeah, sorry about that if I dropped the ball on the thing, man. There was like so much noise going on outside. It's one of the risky run doing a video this time of day, especially. Yeah, dude, and again, guys, I'm a pro Xbox channel, dude. I'm looking forward to what the economy is going to become. I think it's nothing but upside for Microsoft in that sense. If you guys didn't see in the background, a lot of the top tech guys were there. All the big wigs were showing up. Because there's a lot of stuff going on, man. Look, I talked about this the other day. The tech industry, man, they went through a lot of pain. A lot of people were laid off. I know from the video game perspective, right, it's only Microsoft. Microsoft's the big bad evil. And they're gonna go out of business because they laid off the people that they laid off. But that was happening across the industry. And that's why you saw Jeff Bezos standing near to I can't think of the guy's name that runs Google, who's standing next to Elon Musk. And then even Mark Zuckerberg was there, right? Tim Kaine was there. They had a lot of people there, man, because at the end of the day, dude, they are business. President Trump is a businessman. That's his forte. And so, pushing this innovation forward, right? Like if you guys didn't know, I talked about it a little bit on the channel on a previous video. A lot of these guys have a lot of concerns when it comes to their energy policy, right? And it's interesting because a lot of these guys, I know Microsoft, right? Microsoft is one of those companies that push green, right? Which is ironic because now they're pushing for nuclear power, which is actually clean. It's nothing bad that they're doing that, but it's kind of when you look at some of their philosophy as opposed to their business ideology, right? It doesn't match up, right? Because these AI is going to be the future. They need these data centers and they need the power, man. And the power grid we have now, even if it was just on oil and gas, dude, it's not gonna. Well, I mean, it could help. I mean, with Trump in office, dude, they're gonna start, like the drill baby drill thing. That's more than just a slogan, right? He's gonna untap. We have a lot of untapped resources here in the U.S. that he's gonna actually weaponize, right, for both us to benefit us and other countries, and then make us a player on the market, because that's what people weaponize against us from foreign countries, because that's where we get most of our oil, because we don't want to touch our stuff. It's the whole green thing as well. But I think it's ironic that a lot of these companies are there doing that, right? And that's one of the reasons why, because they need a better energy policy than they have now. Dude, you're not going to send up some windmills and some solar panels and run these data centers. They need something the size of Oklahoma to run their one data center. They have to put up all those resources, dude. But if you use nuclear energy, not as bad, and then oil and gas is the backup. Again, for us directly, for us plebes, right? In the and for all of us at the lower class, from middle class below, right? One of our big concerns is the cost of living, and so that'll benefit us as well. Pepe said, we've unburdened by what has been. Yeah, Pepe, 100%, dude, 100%. I ain't gonna lie, dude. He went in. He went in there. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that he did, but in a sense, the presentation was really well done, and he was on point. But again, a lot of times when he's unfocused and he's on point, again, I'll use Panama as the example. Like when you see him talk about it, just go back and watch the video at that point in time. And when he talks about stuff and he's very focused, that's how you know he 100% means it. That's his body language, dude. Sometimes when he talks about stuff, you can tell when he's talking. I'm not saying he doesn't believe it, but that's how you can tell he's being advised by somebody, or it's a topic that's not necessarily in his wheelhouse, but he surrounded himself with people that he agrees with, that he thinks have a good point that can bring something to the table, and that's why he'll talk about it, right? Like with the whole health thing, that's more of an RFK Jr. thing, the whole government efficiency. He knows about that as well because he is a businessman, but Vivek and Elon are going to do the heavy lifting on that stuff. This is why it's important to have people around you that can help you, right? And a lot of people I mean, that's what he's known for. And a lot of people, criticize him about that his first term. But in fairness to him, dude, I'm trying to throw shade at him. I mean, he learned really quick. That was a very powerful lesson for him to learn. Man, he didn't realize how bad, how deep the swamp was when it came to government service. Dude, remember, you guys gotta understand there's a lot of power, influence, and money that's floating around in DC, right? Which is I find ironic, right? Because they're the ones that talk about all these things that's going on and how businesses are corrupt and all this stuff's corrupt. And all they did was they just incorporated all this stuff into that monster, and that's what he's gonna have to fight. Man, you guys gotta get your seatbelts, man. Get your strap in, dude, because it's gonna be some war that's gonna go on. Now, one of the great things I think that happened when he ran this time, right, is that a lot of the media don't have the same influence as they have. You see them coming out already, right? And then you're still gonna have the liberals and the leftists that he has to deal with. Today they already dropped lawsuits to try and block stuff. We saw what Biden did, right? Former President Biden, right? What he did, he pardoned a whole bunch of people. He pardoned all the people that was doing warfare on Trump. So it's kind of like it's almost Shakespearean, right? When you watch this stuff, you have these guys standing right next to each other, and everything that's going on in the background, all the politics behind it, all of that stuff, dude, and it's happening in real time. It's better than an episode of Game of Thrones. I'm not gonna lie. I'll never forget that line of Kamala's every time I see her on TV. Yeah, and she used it multiple times, dude. I mean, whoever was her handler, man, that person needs to be fired. They did a horrible job with her. And you can see juxtaposed to what President Trump was doing, right? The people that he was talking to. And it also helps that the people that back you are people that believe in you and believe in your message and vice versa. right? Like again, I brought this up before, but one of the most interesting things was that his own son, right? Because he's younger, right? Like when I talked to my daughter, we was watching some anime. She showed me a couple anime she was checking out, and I was like blown away by it, right? You can learn a lot from a lot of different people, and that's the great thing about it. If you look at just look at 2016, the people he had around him compared to now, like totally different, dude. And I think it's important, right? Because it does stress the importance of having differences of opinion, right? Like him and RFK Jr. are not going to get along on a lot of things. Him and the vice president was anti-Trump for a little bit before he came on board. Look, Megan Kelly, yesterday she gave a speech, and when you can go back and look at the debate in 2016, one of the first debates, him and Megan Kelly went to war with each other. In fact, it was so bad. Megan Kelly left Fox, and then she technically went to the other side when it came to media, right? And a lot of these people that were anti him and Elon did not get along at all. And look at that. Look what's going on now, right? Look, it's always going to be like that when you have somebody that's a strong, comes from a point of authority, and that's a strong leader that's very strong and very opinionated as well, and has an ego. Trump has a big ego, right? But then everybody coalesced with him, and I think it was important because I feel he has the people around him that he needs to be successful and to put forth his agenda, right? Because they're going to be going to war with these guys, man. Luckily, they have the House and the Senate. Mike Johnson is on board, or looks to be on board. I think he is. I think he was in a tough spot prior to the confirmation, right? Trump actually talked about it. He actually pulled some of the people from the House, right? That made it harder for Mike Johnson, but he stuck with them, so I'll stick with him as well. I have nothing personal against Mike Johnson. I just think it was just in a bad spot. We'll see, right? We gotta get the confirmations going. There's a lot of people that have been put on notice, and President Trump is not one of those guys to mince words. He'll put you on blast, whether it's on his Truth Social, on X, dude, in a press conference, and an inauguration, dude. Like he was doing stuff this whole time, talking about things. He just put Panama on blast for the Panama Canal. He put Mexico on blast because of the Gulf of America. Right? He's gonna do all that kind of stuff, right? And there's reasons behind that, guy. It's just not something. Don't listen to the media. He's not being egotistical. He does have a big ego, but it's more than that. Right, dude? And you'll see. Again, I recommend you guys watch the hearings for the people that he's picking for his cabinet. You need to watch it if you want to get a true idea of everything that's going to happen. You just get in a glimpse to watch a lot as much as you can to understand. I can't go down that rabbit hole, guys. I try and do videos, but I messed up. But I was busy. But yeah, Pepe, thanks for being here, dude. Thanks, Daniel, for stopping in. Heba, man, appreciate it, dude. You know how it is, bro. How we rolling. It'll be interesting to see. I'm going to be keeping track of it, and a lot of it's not just because he won, or because I'm a registered Republican who voted for him, right? Or I'm a Christian conservative. It's part of that, but it's bigger than that, guys. It's going to be interesting, dude. He's going to be trying to do stuff that's never been done before. Pepe Le Pew, been funny if Trump trolled them in front of their faces by saying, America, you have finally been unburdened by what has been the former administration in America. So Pepe, man, I was listening to other stuff that was going on. So he was giving a speech, and in the speech, he was in front of his people, basically. And he was talking to them, and all of this stuff came out. He was talking about it. Because he was saying how the people are trying to tell him, hey, let's be magnanimous when you talk about this kind of stuff. But I mean, if you read between the lines in that speech, man, he was direct. Dude. The things he talked about, like all the turmoil and stuff that we've been going through for the last 4 years, the two people responsible for it was like just a couple feet away from him on his left hand side, dude. It was funny. But he talked about he was going to talk about a bunch of stuff that they asked him not to, and he kind of he listened to him, and I think that was for the better because the speech was really great. But if you want, man, just go listen to his other stuff that he's talking about, or when he gives a press conference and somebody from the media they start attacking him, you'll get all of that. Yeah, I agree with you, though. That would have been funny. I guess he listened to calmer heads, but I would have loved it, dude. I'm like, yeah, I would have loved every minute of it. I like when he went in from the jump, talking about how disastrous the 4 years have been, right? And you need people like that, bro. You need somebody to hold these guys accountable, right? And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna try and do more research, guys. I gotta go, but I appreciate you guys stopping by, supporting, and yeah, dude. Look. If you guys want to comment in the section, and I'll respond. I'm getting better at that, dude. Maybe not my technical skills, but I do what I can. And look for other videos to come in the week, and maybe possibly today. If I find some of these other videos, I'll definitely do them. All right. So Xbox on the channel, host Sega Forever. We out.